Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crashy, and today we're jumping into the conversation hot and heavy with the 10.20.2 hotfix, which is an amazing patch that vaulted the combat shotgun, the drum shotgun, the proximity launcher. We saw changes to the automatic sniper rifle, some brute spawn changes, and ultimately the discussion is immediately jumping towards whether or not the combat vault was good. Now, if you guys don't know my position on the combat prior to this update, we're going to jump into what I'm thinking now and kind of how I feel, is that the combat was definitely overpowered. It's the, you guys have seen the memes. It's got the most ammo in the shotgun. It's got the best range. It's got good damage. It's got a fast reload. It's just everything about that gun was a little bit too much. And I have to say that, even though I'm really excited with a change like this, and even though I'm really excited that, Epic is actually doing something rather than just leaving us with, some stupid weapons, even though the stinkers and the heavy sniper are still in, because I've been complaining about those for like 3 seasons and they never get changed. Not the point. The point is that the question now is, were we prepared to jump from having the version of the combat that we had, before, to now having, no combat at all? And to me, I guess I never really questioned the thought that, maybe having the combat is a good thing for the game. I don't really know. Now I'm kind of wondering what the game would feel like if the combat just got nerfed, and I'm not really sure how it would play out. And the thing is we can speculate how good the combat is for varying playstyles, and we can speculate like whether or not the combat should have gotten nerfed, but it would all come down to what the nerf would be. So there's no definitive way, in my opinion, that someone can tell me, yeah, the combat should have just got nerfed, it would be much better for the game that way. And the reason I feel that is because we just don't know what that nerf would be. Now, if we were to say hypothetically the combat nerf is a good nerf, I don't know what that is, but we just know that it's good. Let's say, it's a good nerf, then yeah, I would be totally fine with it being in the game. But again, the dialogue for now is, what does the game feel like without the combat? And should it have been vaulted or should it have been nerfed? Now, the more I think about it, I overall am just totally fine with this change. I'm totally fine with the fact that the combat is gone and that we have the attack shotgun and the pump shotgun as like the shotgun meta. Now, hear me out. The attack shotguns suck. So if you don't find a pump, it's gonna suck, but I don't really feel like it's that hard to fight someone with a pump. If you have attack, I mean, it's definitely a disadvantage, but realistically, we've been doing it for a long time, and not to say that makes it balanced or anything, but we've been doing it for a long time, and I honestly have some decent results versus a pump shotgun early game if I have attack. Now, if I had attack, a drum shotgun, and even sometimes a pump versus a combat, that just wasn't the case. The pump obviously would give you the best, potential, and if the person had, dog meat aim, then the drum shotgun, you could just blow into their face if they didn't have mats. But that's not the point. My point is that the combat really did fill every single role that the shotgun swap or that the shotgun slot needed, and it was just way too effective. And now again, I'm trying to speculate in my mind, what the combat nerf could have been. Maybe just less range, maybe they already kind of did that, less range, maybe a little bit less damage, or just genuinely like less ammo. I don't know. I don't know that if they nerfed it, it would even be good enough to carry compared to the pump, considering a lot of players prefer the blue pump anyways, and that's definitely kind of like the best shotgun in the game, I mean, in terms of damage. So I guess this topic, this discussion really just kind of sits in the air as a speculative perspective, a speculative point of view on, would the game be good with a nerfed combat? Does it even matter? I mean, I don't really think it does, but I'm actually surprised to see how many people I've seen on Twitter, pro players, community members, that are a little upset, not upset, but a little disappointed that the combat is gone. And even to go as far as to say that, they thought that the varying playstyles was good for the game, and that having the pump tack meta is not going to be good, or is not as good. And personally, I gotta say, I don't agree. I definitely think that the pump tack meta is fine, but it definitely makes me question what the kind of like pump tack combat meta with a not overpowered version of the combat could be like. That said, balance is it's a tricky thing. It's you have to try to get things right, and realistically, the way that games like this work, the way that weapons like these work, you can't have, you know, 10 different weapons of the same type and them all be balanced. It's just not possible. I mean, look at, for example, this is just the best way I can think of it. Look at a Call of Duty game. There's a list of what, you know, 10, let's say 10 assault rifles in Call of Duty. Let's say 8 assault rifles in Call of Duty. Well, realistically, when it comes down to the professional play, there's really only like maybe 1 to 3 of them that actually see a lot of play, because it's based on the maps that you're using. It's based on, you know, the team composition of, you know, running ARs and subs, and it just comes down to how the game actually plays. So yeah, there's a couple SMGs in the game right now, but the burst SMG is way less viable than the silenced SMG, and that's just kind of how I'm thinking Fortnite is, just on a much smaller scale. With building in the game and with the ability to get close to people and the way that a lot of these engagements break out, I really just don't think that there's room for a combat that isn't the version that it already was, and maybe there is. Again, I just don't know, but I want to know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for the support. Lately I've been getting a ton of support, still just trying to find my footing in this content creation thing and make it a part of what I'm doing. So thanks for checking out the video. Again, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the combat being gone? Not just like, hey, this patch overall is great, I do think so, but what do you think about the combat specifically being gone? Thanks for checking out this video. Please don't leave without leaving a like. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earth?